Hello, everyone. Welcome to this Yin Yoga practice to recharge the body and mind. In this video, I'll guide you through a full body sequence that's specifically designed to relieve stress and tension. Welcome back to Devi Daily Yoga and the Yin Yoga Challenge, where this is day number 2. You won't need any props for this one. Just go ahead and roll out your mat because practice begins right now. We'll begin in child's pose, so come onto hands and knees and settle your hips back toward your heels. And your knees can be hips width distance apart from one another, or they could be a little wider, whatever feels right for you in this moment. Gently stretching now into the lower back, middle back, upper back. And draw a deep breath into the spine and the whole back body. Big exhale. Soften into the places where your body is contacting the ground. Soften through the knees and the feet and the shins, the forehead, the hands. And with this contact of your forehead to the ground, as you take your next breath in, fill the whole body, and through your third eye at your forehead center, emptying out into the earth whatever you don't need. Another big breath in to fill the whole torso. And exhale, emptying, releasing, softening. We'll move slowly now to release this child's pose and come up to hands and knees. And from hands and knees, with the hands under the shoulders and knees under the hips, we'll take some gentle cat and cows, starting with an inhale. Find your back bend in cow pose. Lift your gaze. And exhale, round your spine, tuck your chin, tuck your tailbone. Inhale into the back bend, dropping the ribs, lifting up through sitting bones. And exhale into cat stretch. Inhale back into that wonderful back bend, open the heart. And exhaling, rounding the spine. And find a neutral position of your spine now as we find our puppy pose. We'll take the hands forward a few inches and begin to settle the heart down toward the ground. This is a wonderful stretch for the upper body, particularly the shoulders, and you can feel this stretch also into the front of the ribs and down the side bodies perhaps. And if you can sense into the way that the heart is melting toward the ground, you can begin to feel the back of the heart, the place between the shoulder blades, also releasing and softening. Your choice if you keep your forehead at a hover or rest your forehead on the floor or rest your chin on the floor or on a block. Forehead on a block, any props you'd like to use throughout any part of this practice, making the pose work for your body. Find a full breath in and exhale. Can you soften through the heart, through the shoulders, maybe a little bit more? Slowly now make your way up to return to hands and knees. And from here, finding downward dog, a little bit of movement in between our yin poses. Let's bend one knee at a time, walk out the legs, stretch out the backs of the legs, calves, feet. And inhale now, lift up through sitting bones, and exhale, drop the knees all the way back to the floor. We're gonna come into Swan pose with the left knee forward. Turn the shin so that it is at an angle, and you can choose if you want your foot to be farther up or closer back towards your hips. So this will be more intense if you have it farther up, and this will be less intense to have it farther back. And we'll find a lifted chest here, find a back bend for up swan pose, where we're feeling a nice stretch in the front of the right thigh and the front of the right hip, and also maybe a bit of a back bend in the right side of your back. And your hands could be at either side of the legs, or maybe one hand on the leg, or maybe hands come back more. And your choice if you square the hips, which might mean your left hip comes off the ground. You could prop your left hip up with a blanket or a block, or you could go a little bit asymmetrical, which is how I'm enjoying this pose today. Let the left hip come down. And asymmetry is really quite okay in the yin practice. We are not usually going for symmetry or any kind of aesthetic ideal. We're really all about how these poses feel rather than how they look. And as you hold your swan for a couple more breaths, can you roll your shoulders back? Can you puff your chest forward? Can you lift up through the crown of your head? And slowly now come down onto either your elbows, or your head could rest on a block or on top of your stacked forearms. Maybe you want to bring your arms all the way forward and rest your head on the ground. And here we're finding a stretch in the left buttock, left glutes. Option to bend the back knee up and take it toward a modification of this pose called deer, which might relieve any discomfort or knee pain. And again, you could be on the elbows or you could be farther down. As you settle into your variation of the pose, keep in mind that in yin we are always kind of playing around with the edge of sensation, and that doesn't mean we take the edge as far as we can, and quite the contrary really, because when we're holding the poses this long, we want to be at maybe about half of what our most intense edge would be, or some people say 70%, 75%. And the best guideline is your breath, whether you can breathe and relax at the place where you're holding the pose. Soften wherever you are. And slowly, gently make your way up and sit over onto your left hip as you bring your back leg around to the front. And we're going to keep this left knee bent for the half butterfly pose that we are now moving into. One-legged forward bend. Right leg is out in front, and we'll come forward over this leg. Maybe the hands rest on the shin or the ankle or the foot or the floor. Completely changing our target area now to the other leg, the right leg, and we're working with the hamstrings now. So again, where is your edge in this pose? Props are always an option. Blocks, bolsters under the chest, under the head, and or under the forearms. Wherever you are, gently pull the breath in to the back and the belly and the heart. As you exhale, soften your whole body into this forward bending shape. Slowly now release half butterfly. As you come up, we'll bring this front leg back around to the back and take a step back into downward dog. And take a few moments here to feel the difference between the right side and the left side. Notice if there's any feeling of asymmetry after doing a few poses on one side and not the other side quite yet. And we'll go ahead and bend the knees all the way to the ground and find that other side, starting with the up swan, right knee forward. Turn the shin at that angle that feels right as you settle your hips back. And choosing whether you want to hover with the right hip, maybe put a block or a cushion under your seat. You don't need to. If you have a space here and it feels okay and you are getting the stretch, then you can totally just have the space there, but it might just feel good to have some cushion. And you can also, again, do the asymmetrical approach, maybe bending the back knee a bit if you need to. Let's go ahead and lift through the chest, roll the shoulders back. And find the back bend here, along with the stretch in the front of the left hip and the front of the left thigh. And feeling this asymmetrical one-sided back bend in the left side of the spine and sacrum. We can take a breath into the low back now and exhale to soften through the left hip, through the left side of the lower back. Puffing up through the chest, rising up through the crown of the head. And slowly release now to come onto the elbows or the forearms or the head on the hands or a block. Stretching now into the right glutes. Option to bend the back knee up a little bit for a deer variation or bend it up quite a bit. Settling into your version of sleeping swan. Slowly come out of sleeping swan and lean over onto the right hip, bring the back leg around to the front for half butterfly, right foot to the inner upper thigh, and come forward toward the leg. And you always have the option in the forward bends in yin to use a cushion under your seat to make the pose easier. Settle forward. See where the hands want to be on the leg, the floor, the shin, or the foot. And rest into a comfortable position where you feel a stretch in the back of the left thigh, maybe also the lower back. And slowly now come up from half butterfly and make your way into final meditation, either Savasana on the back or joining me in a seated position. You could use a cushion under your seat for a seated meditation. Whichever position you're in, finding a place where your body can be spacious. Make any final adjustments for your comfort with cushions, with props. And notice the space that's been created inside. Notice the easy rhythm and flow of your breath. As you continue to rest here, listen to the words of Sutra number 3 from the Radiance Sutras. Enter these turning points where the rhythms of life transform into each other. Breath flows in, filling, filling. In this moment, drink eternity. Breath flows out, emptying, emptying, offering itself to infinity. Cherishing these moments, mind dissolves into heart. Heart dissolves into space. Body becomes a vibrating field, pulsating between fullness and emptiness. Allow the words of this verse to continue to echo throughout your body for the rest of your day. Let's bring the palms together in front of the heart and chant Om 3 times. Inhale. Namaste. I hope you feel amazingly peaceful and satisfied after this practice. If you feel you need to rest in stillness and quiet for a little longer, you might pause the video at this point. I want to thank you for practicing with Devi Daily Yoga. Be sure to move slowly and gently into the next part of your day. And if you liked this video, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel where I have over 200 Yin Yoga videos organized into helpful playlists. And if you're serious about deepening your knowledge of Yin Yoga, you might check out my online Yin Yoga teacher certification program. I also have a yoga membership site where my community of yogis follows a weekly calendar with me, and you can find links to these things in the description box below. Also, if you're interested in finding the best props for Yin Yoga, in the description box you can also find my recommendations for my favorite bolsters, yoga blocks, and more. This class has been part of the 30-day Yin Yoga Challenge, and if you haven't signed up for the challenge, you can sign up at challenge.devidaily.com. Starting on the day you sign up, you'll get daily emails with a direct link to the video of the day to help keep you on track with the program. And you'll also immediately receive a calendar along with a PDF guide for the program and a posture gallery. So I look forward to seeing you in the next one, and until then, I hope the rest of your day flows beautifully.